My partner's son, 22-year-old M22, attacked me, a 50-year-old woman, F50, and was never held accountable for it. Was I right to leave? Can I let go of the love of my life, a 55-year-old man, M55, because of his son? Have I done the right thing? I've been with my partner, a 55-year-old man, M55, for 5 years. I'm a 50-year-old woman, 50 female, and had been divorced for 6 years before we met. We met and moved in together very quickly. He had not long left his partner when he met me. My adult children, 27-year-old man, 27 male, and 25-year-old man, M25, loved him straight away. My partner treated me in a way their dad hadn't. We were in love, and it was the most magical feeling. I honestly had never felt so happy. But his children hated me straight away. Their mother also had a big part in that. As much as I knew I was hated, I was always polite and friendly, and tried to give them space with their dad. The kids are 22-year-old man, 22 male, and 18-year-old woman, F110. So not children, but young adults. They also do not treat their dad very well unless they wanted something. One night, the son came over after a day of heavy drinking with his friends. My oldest son was also visiting. My partner's son went from being a happy drunk to a violent one. He just snapped, and the next thing I knew, he was attacking me, saying I was saying mean things about his mom. This is something I did not do, and I never would. The next thing I knew, he punched me and knocked me to the ground. He is very big built, and I am tiny. The punch threw me hard to the ground. As I tried to get up, he knocked me down again. My son ended up grabbing my partner's son and dragged him outside and locked the door. My partner sat with his son till his mother picked him up. The mother just laughed when she heard what happened. After the incident, my partner was shattered. He felt terrible, and I could see how much it hurt him that his son hurt me. There was no contact with his son for 12 months. And then slowly my partner and his son started to reconnect. I stated I was okay with his son being around as long as he apologized. He never did. He came into our home again, but never said sorry. I talked to my partner about it, but it was just something my partner didn't push for. The son apologized to my partner, but not me. So I just accepted it. I told my partner his son was not allowed to drink in our home, and expressed many times after the incident that his son absolutely terrified me, and I never wanted to be alone in the house with him. The words sorry have never been said, and the son has never been held accountable for assaulting me. A few months ago, my partner invited the son in to come away with us. He didn't ask me if I was okay with it, and when he did tell me, I completely lost it. I have moved out due to feeling completely disrespected. I don't regret moving out, but I'm struggling with the fact that I still absolutely love my partner and miss him so much. But I know in my heart that his son will always scare me and make me feel uncomfortable whenever he is around. I don't want to live the rest of my life constantly feeling that way. Am I overreacting? Can I live with the fact that I am letting go of the love of my life because I will never, ever like his son? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. You are not overreacting. This relationship carries the burden of having stepchildren who will never accept you as a result of their mother. It is on your partner to mediate the relationship between you and his kids. He should have made his son apologize to you immediately. It's not even an issue of choosing the kids over the new girlfriend. It's the moral thing to do. Although it's hard to let go, it gets easier over time. You made the right decision. Ultimately, things would be unlikely to change. And I think you would grow to resent your partner because he made it evident that he will not stand up for you nor hold his son accountable. Comment 2. His son attacked you. If your son wasn't there, it would have been worse. He could have seriously, permanently injured you or ended the life of you. You don't know. Your partner has invited him on holiday with you without asking you, even though his son terrifies you. The son has apologized to your partner and not you. The last 2 points make me think that neither views you as a person, just as property. You should stay the hell away from both of them and should have pressed charges the first time he attacked you. It won't be the last if you go back. Now, for the update. Thanks for sticking around for this update. So where do I even start? After I moved out, things got even messier, if you can believe that. My partner, he tried to make amends, said he understood why I left. But words are just that, words. He promised changes, promised his son would keep his distance. But promises are as flimsy as a house of cards. Then, out of nowhere, My partner's daughter, the 18-year-old, decided she was going to move in with us. Well, with him, since I wasn't there anymore. She dropped out of college and said she couldn't handle it, and next thing I know, she's back in the picture, full-time. And guess who's over all the time again? Yep, the son. Like a bad penny, that one. My partner was caught in the middle trying to play peacemaker. He wanted me back, but he couldn't turn his back on his kids, could he? So he's juggling, and I'm watching from the sidelines, feeling like I'm the one being played. One evening, I went over to talk, to see if we could figure things out. And there he was, the son, sitting on the couch like he owned the place. No apology, no acknowledgement of what he'd done. Just this smug look on his face. I felt sick, just being in the same room with him. I turned to leave, and that's when it happened. My partner's daughter, she broke down, confessed it was her idea to invite her brother on that trip. She thought it would help mend fences. Instead, it blew up the last bridge between me and my partner. I was furious, not just at her, but at him too. How could he let this happen? How could he not see what was going on right under his nose? But then, he did something unexpected. He sided with me, told his kids that if they couldn't respect me, they couldn't be in his life the same way. It was a bold move, one that left everyone stunned. But the damage was done. The trust was broken. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was just a pawn in their family drama. And I couldn't help but wonder if my partner had been manipulating me all along, keeping me just close enough to think things would change. The aftermath was like a soap opera. His daughter moved out in a huff, went to live with her mother. The son, he was furious, said his dad was choosing me over his own blood. And my partner? He was a wreck, torn between his love for me and his kids. For a brief moment, I thought maybe this was it, the turning point. Maybe now we could start fresh. But life's not that simple, is it? Just when I thought we might have a chance, my own sons got involved. They were worried about me, didn't want me to get hurt again. My oldest, he confronted my partner, told him he'd better treat me right or else. It was a mess, a real shouting match right there on the front lawn for all the neighbors to see. And then the unthinkable happened. My partner had a heart attack, right there, in the middle of the argument. It was like a bad TV show, but it was real, too real. He survived, thank God, but it was a wake-up call for all of us. Now, he's recovering, and I'm left wondering what my next move should be. Do I go back to him knowing his kids will always be a part of the package? Or do I walk away for good, leaving behind the man I love, but also the fear and the drama? I'm still figuring it out, but one thing's for sure. I'm not the same person I was 3 months ago. I've seen too much, felt too much, and I'm starting to think that maybe, just maybe, I've been getting played this whole time without even realizing it. Thanks for reading. My cheating wife thought she could trick me into giving up everything in the divorce, but I exposed her lies in court and kept my house while she got nothing. I, 29-year-old male, am in the process of divorcing my wife Aita, 27-year-old female. It's been a long and draining process, and I don't think I'll ever be able to move on from this. I have been with Aita for 7 years now, married for 3, and my New Year's gift was finding out she has been cheating on me for years with my own brother, 28-year-old male. I honestly thought such things were impossible to occur. Apparently not. Strangely, Aita, the woman who had no issues sneaking around with my own brother behind my back for years, literal years, seemed to be shocked by me asking for a divorce. She kept saying, we can get past this, and the conviction with which she said she only loved me. Like, if I hadn't seen her act like a cheap prostitute with my brother with my own eyes, I'd never have believed it. It's been like this push and pull for the last months. I don't think I'll ever emotionally recover from this. Aita has repeatedly said she's sorry and that nothing about Blake compared to me, and she really wants to work it out and everything else in between. You would think after sleeping with him for almost 4 years, she'd care a bit about that guy at least, but nope. My brother's taken the I'm in love with her stance. He has apologized but insists he loves her, and that makes it better, I guess. That's basically how my life has been these last few months. I'm not talking to much of my family, have locked myself in to keep Anna away, and have to use every bit of restraint I have to not unalive my own brother. But because I can't have nice things, now Anna is pregnant. She claimed it was mine. I did the obvious and called nonsense. She said she used protection as often as possible with Blake. Not sure if she thought it made her look better or what. And she was fairly sure it was our baby. My lawyer suggested a DNA test, and I got the results last night. I am the father. I haven't shown Anna the results, and my state is serious about child support and granting the woman half of everything in the divorce. It's a no-fault state. I just know Anna will ruin me if I try to leave now. I don't know what to do. I don't want this child at all. Not with her anymore, and I have made it clear she can expect no emotional help from me. If the baby wasn't mine, I'd still be assumed the father on BC. And so financially, I was screwed if she decided to keep the baby. Divorce wasn't going to save me. So, is there anything I can do at this point? Can therapy help here? Is there any hope of talking sense into Anna? I have made up my mind to get a divorce. I can never be around that woman again. How to proceed in this situation? Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Tell all your family and friends what your wife and brother did. Also mention the fact that they are pregnant. Yes, I know it's yours, but you are trying to get away from her. I know it's your child, but considering that you should have filed for divorce since January, at the end of the day, it's time for you to file for divorce now. You'll forever hate and never trust her. Your relationship with your brother is most probably forever destroyed. Update me. Comment 2. Get the divorce. I would rather live in a cardboard box under a bridge than live in a house with a woman like your wife. Unfortunately, I don't see a way around future contact with your wife unless you are willing to walk away from your child. Talk to your lawyer about the options. As for your brother, I would stay away from him, and unalive is too far. But a good old-fashioned ass-whipping isn't. Now, for the update. Thanks for sticking around for this update. So, the plot thickens, and not in a good way. Remember how I said Anna was pregnant and I was the father? Well, turns out she's been playing me like a fiddle. After the DNA results came in, she started acting all sweet, saying how we could be a family, how the baby could bring us together. I wasn't buying it, but then she hit me with the real kicker. She threatened to sue for alimony and child support that would basically leave me broke. And with the laws here, she could do it. But wait, it gets worse. My brother, the one who's supposedly in love with Anna, decided to propose to her. Yeah, you heard that right. He went down on one knee in front of our parents and asked her to marry him, while she's still technically my wife. The nerve of some people, right? Our parents, bless their hearts, are caught in the middle, trying to keep the peace. But I can see the strain on their faces. Now, here's where it gets really messy. Anna, being the manipulator she is, accepted his proposal but on one condition, that I give her the house as part of the divorce settlement. She played the pregnant card, saying she needed a stable home for the baby. My brother, the genius, agreed to move in with her and raise the child together. So now, not only am I dealing with a divorce and a brother who backstabbed me, but I'm also about to lose my house. I tried to fight back, talked to my lawyer about options, but he said with the baby and the state laws, it was a losing battle. I felt trapped, like I was being walked all over, and there was nothing I could do about it. But then, something unexpected happened. Anna slipped up. She was so busy playing her games that she didn't realize her best friend, let's call her Jane, wasn't on board with her schemes. Jane came to me one evening, looking guilty as sin, and spilled the beans. Anna had been bragging about how she was going to take me for all I was worth and then ditch my brother once she got the house. I was furious, but also relieved. With Jane's testimony, my lawyer said we had a fighting chance. We took Anna to court, and let's just say, the look on her face when Jane took the stand was priceless. The judge saw right through Anna's act and ruled in my favor. I got to keep the house, and my brother, well, he finally saw Anna for who she really was. In the aftermath, my brother tried to apologize, but I wasn't ready to forgive. Not yet. It's going to take a long time to rebuild that trust, if it's even possible. As for Anna, she's out of my life for good. and I'm focusing on being the best dad I can be, even if the circumstances aren't ideal. Thanks for reading this far. My boyfriend mocked my new job at my mom's cafe after I quit teaching to grieve my dad. So when he came crawling back, I made sure his apology turned into the punchline of his next unemployment joke. So I, a 28-year-old female, have been with my boyfriend, a 35-year-old male, for years. In this time, in terms of my career, I quit teaching 4 years ago, underpaid and overworked, and then moved to working for the government. Last August, my dad contracted sepsis and died suddenly. I was very close to him, and this led to severe depression and me being forced to go on to sick pay from the government. I was still making 1,700 pounds as my sick pay. My boyfriend, who is 35 years old, has always mocked my career choices. He calls my degrees pieces of paper and says that he could get a biro and write his name on a card, and it would be worth as much as my degrees. I have an undergraduate degree in psychology and a postgraduate degree in special needs education, as well as many CPD certificates and ICT courses. Anyway, since I took so long off work to focus on my mental health and grief, we came to a mutual decision at work that due to the nature of my role in the government, they'd pay me my sick pay until I secured a new job. All glowing references. I was also paying 500 pounds a month in before and after school clubs. My mom runs a sandwich breakfast cafe in the village where I grew up. She offered to help with childcare, and I'm working 5 days a week. I already feel insecure about this as I have taken a massive pay cut. But ultimately it works for myself, my son, and my mental health. Plus, I actually enjoy it. It was my first day yesterday. I was running the shop myself from today, and I got back to my boyfriend's flat. He immediately started mocking me, saying he can't wait to ring all his friends and tell them because it's so freaking funny. You'll leave this job just like you have all the others. You won't even last. You can't do this. I immediately went quiet and walked out. We haven't spoken since. My boyfriend has been unemployed since October, and we've been living off my wage. He doesn't shower. He doesn't get out of bed most days. He has jobs lined up, but because he drinks all weekends, he is too hungover when Monday morning comes to start. Anyway, needless to say, I went home with my son and absolutely sobbed my heart out. I've been through grief, financial struggles, and childcare worries, all for my boyfriend to mock me when I finally get a job, which I want to add, I am very proud of. He hasn't even texted me to apologize. How on earth do I make him see how low he's made me feel? Edit. Thank you all for your kind and probably deservedly harsh at times comments. To clarify, he's not my son's father. We do not live together. I have sent him a text filled with some excellent comments I've found from some of you guys. Wish me luck. Edit 2. Yes, I've blocked him. Yes, I've contacted NHS IAPI for CBT and talking therapies. Also, I'm applying for university again to become a paramedic. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. You've been in this relationship for so long that you seem to see it as normal. But do you want a lifetime with a man who puts you down whatever you do? This is not a healthy relationship. If you can't outright ditch him, get counseling to explore why you stay with a man who is so contemptuous. Comment 2. Dumping him might get your point across. He's a lazy, unemployed bum living off your money, and he has the tarnished brass balls to mock you and your job. Oh, hell no. He can go fend for himself. Now for the update. Thanks for sticking around for this update. So, after I blocked my boyfriend and started therapy, things took a turn. I was getting my life on track, or so I thought. My mom's cafe started picking up business, and I was feeling good about work. But then, my ex-boyfriend showed up at the cafe one day, out of the blue, looking like he'd finally taken a shower for the first time in months. He came in, all smiles, saying he'd got a job and was here to make amends. He even brought flowers. I didn't know what to think. Part of me wanted to throw the flowers in his face, but another part of me, the part that remembered the good times, felt a twinge of hope. I told him we could talk after my shift, thinking maybe, just maybe, he'd changed. That same day after the cafe closed, my mom sat me down. She'd been acting weird all day, and I knew something was up. She told me she was selling the cafe. She'd gotten an offer she couldn't refuse, and she was ready to retire. My heart sank. This job was my lifeline, my way of getting back on my feet. And just like that, it was slipping away. I met with my ex after that news, feeling like the world was against me. He said he'd been sober for a month and had a steady job at a construction site. He wanted to try again, to be better. I was so emotionally drained, I just nodded along. I didn't have the energy to fight or to be alone. The next week was a blur. I started looking for new jobs, but nothing felt right. I was back to square one, and the thought of university seemed like a distant dream. My ex was around more, helping with my son, trying to be the man I once loved. But every time he'd say something supportive, I'd remember his cruel words, and I'd feel that resentment bubbling up inside me. Then, my son got sick. Really sick. We were in and out of the hospital, and my ex was there the whole time. He was actually being helpful, and I hated myself for being grateful for it. It was during one of those long nights at the hospital that I got a call from a government agency. They'd heard about my situation and offered me a job. Not just any job, but a role that would use my degrees, my experience. It was perfect, but it was in another city, far away. I was torn. Here was this chance to start fresh, to give my son and me a better life. But it meant leaving my mom, the cafe, and the strange, fragile thing that was growing again between me and my ex. I told him about the job, and to my surprise, he encouraged me to take it. He said he'd follow us, that he'd do whatever it took to keep our family together. So, I accepted the job. We started making plans to move. My ex was on his best behavior, and part of me started to believe that this could work, that we could be a family. But there was always that nagging doubt, the fear that I was walking back into a trap. The day before we were supposed to leave, my ex disappeared. No note, no text, nothing. I called, I searched, but he was gone. It was like he'd vanished into thin air. I was heartbroken and furious. How could I have been so stupid to trust him again? But there was no time to dwell on it. I had a job to start, a son to take care of. So we moved. It's been a month now. The job is challenging, but I'm doing it. My son is healthy again, and we're slowly building a new life. I keep waiting for my ex to show up, to explain himself, but there's been nothing. It's like he was a ghost, haunting me with what could have been. I'm trying to accept this terrible situation. I tell myself it's for the best, that we're better off without him. But deep down, I'm still waiting, still hoping, still not realizing that maybe this is just another cycle of the same old story. Thanks for reading this far. It's been quite the month. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.